The topic of discussion in this lecture is inflation. Now here's the motivation for why we should study inflation. Now this is a $100 trillion bill issued by the government of Zimbabwe in the face of rising inflation. Now you might be thinking, wow, somebody who can have one of these should be a super rich person in Zimbabwe, right? Because $1 trillion or US dollars is a lot of money. But here's the hard fact of life. Unfortunately, this $100 trillion Zimbabwean bill was worth around 40 cents in US. So you can imagine this $100 trillion in Zimbabwe would not be buying much in the United States. And all this happened because of very high increase in prices in Zimbabwe, which is also called inflation. So let's try to define inflation first. So inflation refers to a situation in which the economy's overall price level is rising. Whenever prices are rising, it's called inflation. Now inflation rate, that's what you hear most of the time, is the percentage change in the price level from the previous time period. We'll learn about how to calculate inflation rate in later chapters. So let's go back to Zimbabwean case. What's happened there? And what this table shows is month over month and year over year inflation rate. What is month over month inflation rate? So for March 2007, inflation rate was 50.54%, which means that compared to February 2007, prices has gone up by 50.54%, which means if something costed you 100 Zimbabwean dollars in February 2007, it would be costing you 150.54 Zimbabwean dollars in March 2007. And what is year over year inflation rate? This is compared to March 2007 with March of 2006. So you compare the same month in different years. And you can see here how the inflation rate in 2007, 2008 increased in Zimbabwe, both the month over month and the year over year. So you can see here in 14 November 2008, inflation rate was 79 point, lots of zeros after this. Mind you, 9 zeros makes a billion. This is 79.6 billion times increase. So if something costed you $1 in October 2008, that costing you 79.6 billion on November 2008. And look at the year over year increase. It's even insane with number of zeros. There are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 zeros. And it's a big increase. So though in reality, we do really never see this kind of price increases. We do observe price increases, but this is completely out of bound. So there are terms for this kind of scenario. It's called hyperinflation. It is a very high and typically accelerating inflation. It quickly erodes the real value of the currency as the prices of most or all goods increase. So that's what exactly happened in Zimbabwe. What we had hyperinflation. Same thing happened in Germany in the 1930s after First World War, where prices has gone up tremendously because of war reparation payments. On the other hand, we often have situations where the prices actually go down, and when prices decreases, we call it deflation. So deflation is nothing but opposite of inflation, negative inflation, when prices decrease. Though deflation is typically quite rare, but it does happen occasionally.